Lord led me to a familiar passage in Jeremiah 1, not to repeat what you've heard, but to remind you of something essential. You already belong. You are already called. A passage that reminds us that long before accomplishments, titles, or milestones, God establishes identity and purpose. Before Jeremiah spoke a word or took a step, God declared in verse 5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." The same truth applies here today. Before you ever took your first step, God knew you. He shaped you with purpose. As life unfolds, there are moments when we forget who we are. Often, we try to fit in, to shrink ourselves to match what the world expects. But God never designed you to blend in. The pressures of expectation, comparison, and conformity can quietly reshape how we see ourselves. We may be tempted to adjust, diminish, or compromise in order to fit what the world calls acceptable, but God never designed His people to lose themselves in the crowd. What makes you different, what others may not understand, is often the very mark of God's favor on your life. You were created to stand out, not to disappear. What sets you apart is not a flaw. It is often evidence of God's hand upon your life. The very qualities that distinguish you are the ones God intends to use. You were created with intention, formed with purpose, and called to stand out, not to shrink. Don't let other people define you. Don't let labels, opinions, or comparisons distract you from who God says you are. When you look in the mirror, don't just see yourself. See what God sees. You are chosen. You are set apart. You are called for your generation. Scripture tells us that we are a chosen people, set apart for God's purpose. Being ordained isn't just for preachers or leaders with titles. Ordination is not reserved only for those who stand behind the pulpit. To be ordained is to be appointed and commissioned. To be ordained means to be sent with purpose. In that sense, every believer is ordained to reflect God's gospel, the truth, to live with integrity, and to be a witness wherever God places us. As you move on to the next chapter or new seasons of responsibility, it is important to remember this. Challenges will come. There will be uncertainty, moments of strain, and sure enough times when strength feels limited. Stay grounded in God. God remains faithful to us. He provides when resources are thin, steadies us when we feel overwhelmed, and comforts us when life feels heavy. He has never abandoned His people, and He will not begin now. I speak encouragement over every heavy heart today, against fear, discouragement, insecurity, and anything that seeks to undermine what God has already declared. The enemy doesn't attack your strengths. The enemy often targets our doubts and insecurities. But today, choose boldness, choose purpose. When those moments arise, return to what God has spoken over your life. Look in the mirror again and declare this: I am called. I am set apart. I am blessed. I am covered. I am favored. I am important. I am valued. Look in the mirror again, not with the eyes of comparison or self-judgment, but through the lens of faith and confidence. Jesus reminds us that we are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Let your life reflect His goodness, His wisdom, and His grace. Let your light shine boldly. Walk forward with confidence, knowing who you are is who God says you are. And when those moments of doubt come creeping back, look in the mirror again and remind yourself you are called and chosen and will not fit into anyone's viewpoint or comparison. We need a word in these times, and this is that word. Be encouraged. Look in the mirror again.